عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. الحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى الله وسلم على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. أما بعد, first and foremost, we apologize for the 5-minute delay. I am against tardiness, tooth and nail. But as you can see, we're trying a new software. Okay, and there's an echo. Wait, Sony Cam. What? All right, guys, we apologize. Tell me if the echo's been fixed. We're trying to use a different platform, OBS, as opposed to our usual StreamYard, hoping that this will be better and the page is better visible and everything is looking better. I turn off the mic reverb or the echo. Do confirm, please, that you're able to hear me properly now. It's fixed. Okay, mashallah, tabarakallah, alhamdulillah. Ahsantum wa jazakum Allahu khairan. Alright, so as promised, inshallah, we're going to complete Surah Luqman. We have Mussab in-house with us, inshallah, to recite ayah number 31 onwards. So, tafaddal. Wait, how do I mute from here now for you to be able to recite?
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. ألم تر أن الفلك تجري في البحر بنعمة الله ليريكم من آياته إن في ذلك لآية لكل صبار شكور. وإذا غشيهم موج كالظلل دعوا الله مخلصين له الدين فلما نجاهم إلى البر فمنهم مقتصد وما يجحد بآياتنا إلا كل ختار كفور. يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم واخشوا يوما لا يجزي والد عن ولده ولا مولود هو جاز عن والده شيئا إن وعد الله حق فلا تغرنكم الحياة الدنيا ولا يغرنكم بالله الغرور إن الله عنده علم الساعة وينزل الغيث ويعلم ما في الأرحام وما تدري نفس ماذا تكسب غدا وما تدري نفس بأي أرض تموت إن الله عليم خبير.
All right, barakallah feek. طيب. So let's read the English equivalent to those wonderful ayat from the book of Allah Jalla Jalaluhu wa taqaddasat asma'uhu. Do you not see that ships sail through the sea by the favor of Allah, that He may show you of His signs? Indeed, in that are signs for everyone patient and grateful. And when waves come over them like canopies, they supplicate Allah sincere to Him in religion, but when He delivers them to the land, there are some of them who are moderate in faith. And none rejects our signs except everyone treacherous and ungrateful. O mankind, fear your Lord and fear a day when no father will avail his son, nor will a son avail his father at all. Indeed, the promise of Allah is truth, so let not the worldly life delude you, and be not deceived about Allah by the deceiver, i.e., Satan. Indeed, Allah alone has knowledge of the hour, and sends down the rain, and knows what is in the wombs. And no soul perceives what it will earn tomorrow, and no soul perceives in what land it will die. Indeed, Allah is knowing and aware. Tamam. So, we're going to see the statements of the Shaykh, rahimahullah ta'ala, in regards to these ayat. أي ألم ترى من آثار قدرته ورحمته وعنايته بعباده أن سخر البحر تجري فيه الفلك بأمره القدري ولطفه وإحسانه. Do you not see that from the effects of his ability and his mercy and his care to his slaves, that he facilitated and he subdued for them the sea wherein the ships sail through the sea with his command, both the decreal, the one related to his destiny and decree, and also with his kindness and his excellence. ليريكم من آياته ففيها الانتفاع والاعتبار. So he will show you of his signs. So in that there is benefit and reflection. So brothers and sisters, this is a quick lesson for me and for you, that even the mere standard procedures of life, a believer is requested to reflect on them from a religious point of view. I.e., whenever you see a camel, you as a believer, if you see a camel, we have a problem? Oh, so what do you want me to do? Wait guys, I'm sorry. This? MashaAllah, that fixed it. Aha. Wow. MashaAllah. Alright. طيب. Can somebody control this little kid, please? Alright. So when you see a camel, you as a believer should stand there and bring to mind أفلا ينظرون إلى الإبل كيف خلقت. Do they not look and reflect at the camel, how it was created? And you should make it a point when you see the creation of Allah to do the tasbih and to do the tadabbur and the tafakkur, which Allah Azza wa Jal actually praised in the Quran. And people praised those who يذكرون الله قياما وقعودا وعلى جنوبهم, those who remember Allah standing and sitting and on their sides. ويتفكرون في خلق السماوات والأرض, and they reflect on the creation of the heavens and the earth. سبحانك ما خلقت هذا باطلا. Glory, how perfect you are. You did not create all this in vain. So you as a believer, don't look at those aspects of life trivially. Don't look at them as something that is insignificant or small. No. Rather, look at them with reflection. Look at them with understanding. So when you see, I'm amazed. I'm amazed by boats sailing in the sea. Ya akhi, you grab a needle, you drop it in the sea, it sinks. You put a needle in the sea, it sinks. You put a ship made from steel, weighing 1,000,000 tons, it sails on the surface of the water. Now, of course, you're going to be like, well, brother, I'm going to get scientific with you and let me explain to you scientifically why the needle will sink and why the ship will sail and float. Who created this so that you are explaining it scientifically? Allah. Allah made the laws of physics in that way so that this is the case. Your job is not to be amazed with the science. You should be amazed with the one who made it. Because science is only an attempt. It's an attempt to explain this wonder. It is not the reason behind the wonder. All science can do is trying to say, well, wait, let's try to make sense out of it through theory, through experimentation, through analysis, through studies, through blah blah blah. But in reality, they're attempting to figure out and dissect and decipher the greatness of the subject matter. So this is how the believer looks at the world versus the disbeliever, or even versus the heedless Muslim, who does not pay attention to the amazing. Anytime you see a fish you see a frog, you see a turtle. Anytime I see the creation of Allah, you have to be like, Subhanallah, Subhanallah al-Azim, Jalla Jalaluhu wa taqaddasat asma'uhu, Subhana. So these you reflect on how in the world is this ship moving on the surface of the water. طيب. إن في ذلك لآيات لكل صبار شكورا. That's what we were saying. Verily, verily, in that are signs for everyone who's patient and grateful. فهم المنتفعون بالآيات. The Shaykh rahimahullah said, those are the ones that will benefit from the ayat. If you don't have sabr and shukr, if you're not patient in terms of learning the deen of Allah and being patient to reflect, because some people are dismissive, they're passive. There's no time to reflect. لا يا أخي, reflect. Take the time. It takes patience to sit there and say, let me think this one through. No, let me think this one through and thoroughly. And when you do so, that's when you will reach the point of tafakkur, and then you will get that profound inspiration from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If you are dismissive and you don't have patience, you will miss out. Similarly, if you're not thankful, you will also miss out. Because you can say, oh, this is amazing, and not be thankful to Allah. No, say Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah for even the simplest things. طيب, صبار على الضراء. The Shaykh explained further. Patient regarding harm. شكور على السراء. He is thankful regarding the ease and the facilitation. So your life is going to be divided into two. One day you're going to be dealing with a calamity. One day you're going to be dealing with difficulty and hardship. And the following day you're going to be dealing with some blessing from Allah. The believer is patient when afflicted with harm. He is thankful to Allah when given a blessing, when given a bounty from Allah. Also, صبار على طاعة الله وعن معصيته وعلى أقداره. He is also patient regarding obedience to Allah, patience from abstaining from disobedience to Allah, and patience regarding the decree of Allah. شكور لله على نعمه الدينية والدنيوية. And he is thankful to Allah for his worldly and religious benefits. You're thankful to Allah for the worldly benefits He gives you. He gives you a spouse, He gives you a house, He gives you a family, He gives you a job, He gives you some income, He gives you real estate, He gives you whatever Allah gives you from the worldly matters, health. You are thankful to Allah. And religious, which is the most important and the one we should have begun with actually before mentioning the dunyawiyya, I retract, and I should stick with the format of the Shaykh, because he mentioned the diniyya before the dunyawiyya, the religious before the worldly, and I jumped onto the world. May Allah forgive us and pardon our heedlessness and our preoccupation with the world. Most importantly is the religious bounty. And I just want to connect this with what's going on in the da'wah scene. A lot of you are plugged in on them. A lot of you don't care. First of all, for those who don't care, bravo. Jazakumullah khair. You're out of this fiasco. You're out of this drama. Alhamdulillah, if you're busy and focusing on gaining knowledge and learning, you're doing the right thing. If for whatever reason though you happen to be involved in this online drama in the da'wah scene, then wallahi there isn't any greater bounty Allah has bestowed upon us more than moderation and salafiyya. Actually, moderation within salafiyya. We are literally in the middle of the chart. If you were to have a chart of deviant imams all the way to radical imams, if you were to have an x-axis, x and y, whichever concept you could think of, Okay? Whichever concept you, stumbling servant and X3M. Can we please postpone this discussion, barakallah fikum, until after the class? I've attended other people's live sessions where literally the whole time the people are just speaking and no one is even listening to what the guy's saying. You know what I'm saying? It's like more of a commentary and people venting. Ma'alish, where this is a tafsir class, let's focus on the class and what is being said. During the Q&A, inshallah, you could loosen up and tell me whatever you want to tell me. Jazakumullah khair. And this is important that we have adab and the etiquettes of ilm. This is a ilm session. It is not, it's not a entertainment session. So let's inshallah, let's help each other get the job done, because it is in front of me and I can't help but see, because sometimes, like I asked you earlier, there was an echo, there was a problem. I need to be plugged in with what's going on, but not to the point where I read the bickering and the fighting. All right. So once again, I lost my chain of thoughts because I had to tell someone not to chat during the class. No problem. Yes. So if you were to have an X and Y, if you had a chart of any type, you will find that we are right in the middle. So we promote Salafiyya without being extreme within Salafiyya, because we know that there's a strand within Salafiyya that are somewhat on the extreme, and may Allah forgive us and forgive them. And we are definitely not with those imams that are the Western imams that are violating the fundamentals of Islam. I don't want to use the term compassionate imams because I don't want to accept a term that is coined by people that are transgressive in their nature. Because compassion in and of itself is not a problem, by the way. You have to be compassionate to some degree. But this is the problem of using certain terms in an inappropriate way. Besides the point. But we have those guys, and then we're not among those who are takfiris. So there's people that are inclusive. Everybody is welcome on board. Hayakum Allah. You're homosexual. You believe in Quran and Sunnah or parts of the Quran and Sunnah. Everybody is welcome on board, and they're inclusive and accommodating and tolerant. And then there's the other extreme, which are completely intolerant, where they make absolutely no distinction between who's right and who's wrong. Everybody's painted with the same brush. Khalas, you say one thing, you do one thing, then you are included with a group. And once you're included with that group, then all kinds of slanders become halal against you. So you see where we stand? Do you see where we are? Right in the middle of all that? You see, this is the biggest ni'mah diniyah that Allah has bestowed upon us. And believe me, we are the minority in this day and time. And the difference between us and them is that everything that we say and do is substantiated with textual evidence based on the understanding of the early generations, versus everything they say and do is based on some Google research or some modern sheikh or contemporary fatwa or some extreme radical view. So be thankful to Allah in your sujood for making you who you are. Ayah number 32. Bismillah. خير يا شباب خير. Let's keep it peaceful إن شاء الله. وذكر تعالى حال الناس عند ركوبه بالبحر وغشيان الأمواج كالظلل فوقهم أنهم يخلصون الدعاء لله والعبادة. Then Allah mentioned the condition of the people upon them riding the sea, and yet when the waves become like canopies over them. Like dhulal also, it's like clouds that is completely shielding them. That at that time they become sincere to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in dua and ibadah. فَلَمَّا نَجَّاهُمْ إِلَى الْبَرِّ, but when Allah Azza wa Jal saved them, delivered them to the land safely, انقسموا فريقين, they are divided therefore into two groups. فرقة مقتصدة, a group that is مقتصد, meaning when you're right on the edge. لم تقم بشكر الله تعالى على وجه الكمال. Those people did not praise or did not thank Allah in the perfect manner. بل هم مذنبون ظالمون لأنفسهم, rather they are guilty, oppressing themselves. وفرقة كافرة لنعمة الله جاحدة لها. And another group that is completely unappreciative and ungrateful to the bounty of Allah and completely dismissive of it. ولهذا قال, that's what Allah said, وما يجحد بآياتنا إلا كل ختار كفور. And none rejects our signs except everyone treacherous and ungrateful. أي غدار, ختار أي غدار, meaning one who betrays continuously. ومن غدره أنه عاهد ربه لئن أنجيتنا من البحر وشدته لنكونن من الشاكرين. And part of his betrayal is that he took a covenant with his Lord that if you were to save us from the sea and its fitna, we will surely be among the thankful ones. فغدر ولم يف بذلك. So he betrayed and he did not keep his promise. كفور لنعم الله. He is ungrateful to the bounties of Allah. فهل يليق بمن نجاهم الله من هذه الشدة إلا القيام التام بشكر نعم الله? Is it befitting for anyone who has been saved by Allah from this calamity except that he should completely fulfill the thankfulness to Allah for his bounties? And brothers and sisters, let me ask you a question which is rhetorical, therefore please don't answer in the live chat. Just ask yourself and answer yourselves. Are we not guilty of this? Are we not guilty of this? We are. We are. Yeah, I had a near-death experience when I went scuba diving. I literally saw death with my eyes. I lost the oxygen. I lost the tank was empty on zero, and I was probably 25 meters underwater, chasing a fish. Because you guys know I'm a scuba diver and I'm a spearfisher. I was a noob, not following the rules and the guidelines. You're supposed to check your gauge and you're supposed to have a dive buddy. I had kind of left that person in chasing a fish, and without being preoccupied with the big fish I had shot and the other big fish I was chasing, next thing you know, I'm out of air, completely out of air, under the it's a mistake, 25 meters, completely out of air, under the water. So I looked up, and the surface of the water was like 700 million years away. And I did not even take, you know how you take like a deep breath and then you hold it in? No, I was just breathing normally. All of a sudden, I have no air. So I don't know how Allah saved me. I was dying. I was literally, I fainted actually. I passed out after I swallowed maybe 10 liters of water. And I just found myself on the surface screaming Allahu Akbar. Somehow the captain of the boat heard me and he came and saved me. And I was actually spitting blood because the air bubbles in your lungs explode due to rapid ascension within the water. Anyways, it was a near-death experience. Allah saved me, and of course, like everybody else, I said, you know what? This is a sign from Allah. I'm gonna be the best Muslim, and I'm never gonna disobey Allah again. And of course, we fell back into sin. We forgot. I forgot. Now, you're not going to become an angel, you will still sin, but you will think that back then I really felt like, khalas, I will never disobey Allah again. There's no because, dude, I could have died. So, the bottom line is, this is the reality. Now, this is all of us. Maybe all of us are guilty in one way or another of making a covenant while we are going through a really hard time. Like, oh Allah, if you save me from this, I'm really going to become a better Muslim. And then as soon as we get what we want, it's like, okay, I guess I'm good now. So we just fall back into our heedlessness. So we have to be careful of those. Subhanallah. Now, so then the ayah number 33 says, طبعا يأمر تعالى الناس بتقواه. Allah commands the people to have taqwa of Him, meaning to fear Him and avoid His disobedience. and fulfill his commands. The Shaykh explained, الذي هي امتثال أوامره وترك زواجره, which is embodied in complying with his commands and the abandonment of his prohibitions. ويستلفتهم لخشية يوم القيامة. And Allah is bringing our attention, istilfat is for you to like turn around and focus on the fear of the day of resurrection. Bismillah. اليوم الشديد الذي فيه كل أحد لا يهمه إلا نفسه. So that very difficult day wherein everybody will care about no one but him or herself. Everybody will care about no one but him or herself. ولا يجزي والد عن ولده ولا مولود عن والده شيئا. And as we translated earlier, and no father will avail his son, nor will a son avail his father. لا يزيد في حسناته ولا ينقص من سيئاته. He will not increase in his good deeds. He will not take away from his evil deeds. قد تم على كل عبد عمله. For each slave, his deeds have been completed. وتحقق عليه جزاؤه. And it's been confirmed upon him the compensation and the retribution for it. فلفت النظر لهذا اليوم المهيل. So this turning our attention to this tremendous day, مما يقوي العبد ويسهل عليه تقوى الله, is that which will strengthen the slave and it will facilitate for him the taqwa of Allah. Meaning, if you want a real reason for you to be fearful of Allah, if you're looking for a reason for you to be mindful of Allah, which we all need, we all need this boost to have taqwa. Just think about Yawm al-Qiyamah. Think about Yawm al-Qiyamah and everything that is related to it. Subhanallah. وَهَذَا مِنْ رَحْمَةِ اللَّهِ تَعَالَى بِالْعِبَادِ. This is also from the mercy of Allah Azza wa Jal to the slaves. يَأْمُرُهُمْ بِتَقْوَاهِ الَّتِي فِيهَا سَعَادَتُهُم. Allah commands them to be mindful of Him, within which is their happiness. وَيَعِدُهُمْ عَلَيْهَا الثَّوَابَ. And Allah promised them the reward for that. وَيُحَذِّرُهُم مِنَ الْعِقَابِ. And Allah warns them against the punishment. وَيُزْعِجُهُم إِلَيْهِ بِالْمَوَاعِظِ وَالْمُخَوِّفَاتِ. And Allah disturbs you towards that day with admonishments and elements of fear. Allah Azza wa Jal wants you to be afraid. Allah wants us to be afraid. فَلَكَ الْحَمْدُ يَا رَبَّ الْعَالَمِينَ. Allahu Akbar. So the Shaykh Rahimahullah said, so praise belongs to you, O Lord of everything. O Lord of everything, praise be to you. Even for Allah Azza wa Jal scaring us, say Alhamdulillah. If Allah didn't scare us, we would have been careless and headless. Heedless, I'm sorry. Headless. Or you would be headless as well. But it's a mercy from Allah that He actually scares us so that we can be scared. إِنَّ وَعْدَ اللَّهِ حَقٌّ لَا تَمْتَرُوا فِيهِ. So the promise of Allah is true. Don't have any doubt concerning it. Don't have any doubt concerning it. Don't be deluded concerning it. The promise of Allah is truth. وَلَا تَعْمَلُوا عَمَلَ غَيْرِ الْمُصَدِّقِ. And don't do the deeds of those who don't believe. فَلِهَذَا قال. That's what Allah said. فَلَا تَغُرَّنَّكُمُ الْحَيَاةُ الدُّنْيَا بِزِينَتِهَا وَزَخَارِفِهَا وَمَا فِيهَا مِنَ الْفِتَنِ وَالْمِحَنِ. So do not be deluded and deceived by this worldly life. The Shaykh said, with what? Yani, with its zina, with its adornment, وَزَخَارِفِهَا, its decoration, وَمَا فِيهَا مِنَ الْفِتَنِ وَالْمِحَنِ, and what it contains of trials and tribulations. وَلَا يَغُرَّنَّكُمْ بِاللَّهِ الْغَرُورِ الَّذِي هُوَ الشَّيْطَانِ. And don't be deceived by the deceiver, which is the shaitan. الَّذِي مَا زَالَ يَخْدَعُ الْإِنسَانِ. Allahu Akbar. The one who continues to trick the human. وَلَا يَغْفَلُ عَنْهُ فِي جَمِيعِ الْأَوْقَاتِ. And he is not absent from the human being at all times. The shaitan is with you from the time you open your eyes until the time you go to bed. He is accompanying you in every occasion. In the salah, he wants to ruin it. When you recite the Quran, he wants to ruin it. When you get involved in good deeds, he wants to ruin it. At no point in time does the shaitan take a break, or an hour lunch break, or a 15-minute break, or a vacation on certain days, or he doesn't work on the weekends, or no. The shayateen are 24/7 in full-fledged action from the time you come into this world. As soon as you're born, the shaitan actually pinches you. until you are on the pranks of death, the shaitan, as the soul leaves your body, still tries to seduce you and delude you and mess with you and make you change your ways. نعوذ بالله منه. فإن لله على عباده حقا. Verily Allah has a right over his slaves and a promise. وقد وعدهم موعدا يجازيهم فيه بأعمالهم. And Allah has promised them about an appointment where He will compensate them for their deeds. وهل وفوا حقه أم قصروا فيه. And did they fulfill the right of Allah, or did they have shortcomings regarding it? Yeah, the pangs of death. أحسنت. وهذا أمر يجب الاهتمام به. This is a matter that should be paid attention to and given with care. وأن يجعله العبد نصب عينيه. And that you should place that in between your eyes, this matter. وَرَأْسَ مَالِ تِجَارَتِهِ الَّتِي يَسْعَى إِلَيْهِ. And this should be the capital of the trade, of the business that you're basically doing in this world, in terms of your akhirah, the business of the akhirah. ومن أعظم العوائق وعنه والقواطع دونه الدنيا الفتانة. And one of the biggest hurdles and interrupters from you being able to think about that last day is the dunya that is fattana, that is full of trials. The trial full worldly life. وَالشَّيْطَانُ الْمُوَسْوِسُ الْمُسَوِّلُ. And the shaitan who's constantly whispering and trying to facilitate sin. فنهى تعالى عباده أن تغرهم الدنيا أو يغرهم بالله الغرور. So Allah prohibited slaves that they should be deluded or deceived by the dunya, or to be deceived by the shaitan. يعدهم ويمنيهم وما يعدهم الشيطان إلا غرور. As Allah says in another surah, I believe it's in Surah Al-Isra, Wallahu A'lam, He promises them and He gives them false promises, and He does not promise them except in deceitfulness and lies. Ayah 34. وقد تقرر أن الله تعالى أحاط علمه بالغيب والشهادة والظواهر والبواطن. So after we read the ayah, basically to Allah, indeed Allah has knowledge of the hour and sends down the rain and so on and so forth. The Shaykh said it has been established that Allah Azza wa Jal's knowledge has encompassed everything of the unseen and that which is witnessed, the ظواهر والبواطن, the things which are visible and the things which are hidden. وقد يطلع الله وقد يطلع الله عباده على كثير من الأمور الغيبية. And Allah might on occasions يطلع, meaning allow to see, He may allow slaves to see a lot of the matters of the unseen. There are occasions where Allah will allow you to see some matters of the unseen. وهذه الأمور الخمسة من الأمور التي طوى علمها عن جميع الخلق. However, those 5 matters are from the matters that Allah has hidden and kept away from the entire creation. فلا يعلمها نبي مرسل ولا ملك مقرب. No one knows it except نبي مرسل, except a prophet who has been sent as a messenger. No one knows it, including, no one knows it, whether a prophet who's been sent or an angel that has been made near among those close to Allah. Thank you, man. Homeschool, it's Surah Al-Nisa, not Surah Al-Isra. Jazakallah khairan. Al-Muhim, I got thrown off. So no one knows it, not even a prophet that has been sent as a messenger, which is a higher degree than just a prophet, nor an angel, not any angel, even muqarrab from the Mala al-A'la, from the angels that are closest to Allah, like Israfil or Jibril or Mikael. فضلا عن غيرهما, let alone other than those. فقال إن الله عنده علم الساعة. So verily with Allah Azza wa Jal is the knowledge of the hour. أن يعلم متى مرساها. Allah knows when it will occur. كما قال تعالى يسألونك عن الساعة أيان مرساها. They ask you about the hour, when will it take place? قل إنما علمها عند ربي. Say verily its knowledge is with my Lord. لا يجليها لوقتها إلا هو. None will display its time except He. لا تأتيكم إلا بغتة. But it will only come to you suddenly. Al-Ayah. And another one, وَيُنَزِّلُ الْغَيْثِ. Allah sends down the rain. أي هو المنفرد بإنزاله. Allah is single-handedly responsible for sending down the rain. وَعِلْمُ وَقْتِ نُزُولِهِ. And Allah is the one who knows when the rain will be sent down. وَيَعْلَمُ مَا فِي الْأَرْحَامِ. Allah knows what is within the wombs. هو الذي أنشأ ما فيها. Allah is the one who created what is within the wombs. وعلم ما هو هل هو ذكر أم أنثى, and whether it will be male or female. ولهذا يسألك الملك الموكل بالأرحام ولهذا يسأل ملك الموكل بالأرحام ربه. That's why the angel responsible for the wombs asks his Lord, هل هو ذكر أم أنثى, is it a male or female? فيقضي الله ما يشاء. Then Allah decrees whatever He wills. وما تدري نفس ماذا تكسب غدا, and no soul knows what it will earn tomorrow. من كسب دينها ودنياها, whether it is the earning of its religion or its worldly life, meaning you don't know what you will do within Islam or in the religion or within the matters of the dunya. وما تدري نفس بأي أرض تموت, and no soul perceives in what land it will die. بل الله تعالى هو المختص بعلم ذلك جميعا. Allah is the one who solely, exclusively responsible or knows this ultimate knowledge alone. ولما خصص الله هذه الأشياء, when Allah specified those matters, عمم علمه بجميع الأشياء, then Allah mentioned His encompassing knowledge of everything. فقال إن الله عليم خبير محيط بالظواهر والبواطن. So Allah's knowledge, Allah is knowing and aware, meaning He is aware and He encompasses the apparent and the hidden, والخفايا والخبايا والسرائر, every secretive, hidden, unknown thing. ومن حكمته التامة أن أخفى علم هذه الخمسة العباد. From the complete perfect wisdom of Allah Azza wa Jal is that He kept the knowledge of these five matters from His slaves. لأن في ذلك من المصالح ما لا يخفى على من تدبر ذلك, because the amount of benefit in that is not unknown for anyone who reflects upon that. تم تفسير Surah Luqman بفضل الله وعونه والحمد لله. So the Surah Luqman has been completed. Now before we finish, I just want to highlight a couple of things, because I know in this modern day people have been deceived into thinking that, well, we have some artificial rain, artificially induced rain that now they're able to supposedly create. So that's one objection that the people have. So how do we say that Allah Azza wa Jal yunazzilul ghayth, and He alone knows when the rain comes down, when supposedly they're able to create artificial rain now? And a similar objection you would hear from the people is like, Allah says that He knows, what's in the wombs, but now you can get an ultrasound and know what's in the wombs. And the basic simple refutation to these two allegations is the following. Number one, those who are creating artificial rain are actually nothing is being done from scratch. This is similar to cloning. When someone says that they've cloned a sheep, say, listen, ya ta'ban, you will only be competing with Allah as a creator when you make something from scratch. As for using the creation of Allah to reproduce something, then you haven't done anything special, because you're still dependent on the creation of Allah to create your supposed creation. So when they make this rain, they're using things that Allah created for them in order to make this artificial rain. They cannot make rain from scratch. They don't control the elements of nature that only Allah controls, because they're going to use something that is already there. If Allah took away those things that they want to use, they will never be able to make rain. Bang in your face. And the same thing regarding ultrasound. Who allowed you to even reach the point where you can have an ultrasound? Allah. And plus, did you know before the ultrasound, before that you could tell whether it's a male or a female, does Allah know whether it's a dhakar or untha? Yes. Does the doctor know? No. When it's still a sperm drop, they don't. And even if they were to advance in science and at some point they could tell that from the very early stage whether it's going to be a male or female based on the chromosomes, still at some point in time when it was first blown into the womb, you did not know jack. Only Allah Azza wa Jal knows. And then it's Allah who allowed you to create those tools and machinery for you to discover what He already knows. Ya majaneen. So all of this nonsense where people say, oh, look, man, these believers, this and believe not, it's all nonsense, man. You're still dependent on Allah up until you can make your own universe, your own creation. You do everything from scratch. Then and only then we could say, oops, you are competing now. And that's never going to happen. It's never going to happen. So cut the crap, as they say, and spare us this nonsense. And brothers and sisters, let's jump into this Q&A. Today, I'm going to be the moderator, inshallah, bismillah. Or so I'm told. I am the moderator. What do I do now? Find the chat. It's right here. This? Okay. So when I click on it, it will appear on the screen? Uh-huh. Why all these messages were deleted? Oh. Jazakumullah khairan, all the message deleters. Wait, let me start from the top. Alright, so I guess this is the first one. Here? Alright, look at this, guys. We're getting fancy-mancy over here. Thank you, Mr. Mussab, for your innovative approach to the... I like this. I like this setup far better than the old setup. You guys give me thumbs up and hearts and love and share and like and subscribe and send to your uncle and aunt and neighbor and grandfather if you like what's going on today. Assalamu alaikum wa alaikum salam. Ahsan alaikum wa ilayk. Pursue excellence. How to combine between the saying of the author rahimahullah regarding impossibility of deeds increasing, decreasing on a day and the hadith about iqtisas. Very easy, Habibi. The way you understand this issue is the Shaykh is saying that once you die, there will be no more means for you to make any changes. Allahumma, except what already is established from the textual evidence that is means for you to get more good deeds or more bad deeds. So more good deeds, three sources. علم ينتفع به, knowledge that the people benefit from. أو صدقة جارية, or a recurrent charity. أو ولد صالح يدعو له, or a righteous child that makes dua for you. That's the source of good deeds. Source of bad deeds is you start a bad sunnah, then everybody follows you. That's it. So these are the exceptions. These are the exceptions. And that you go to Allah Azza wa Jal with that. Now, on the Day of Judgment, you reach phase 2 or phase 3 where there's retribution. Where there's retribution. So now that your good deeds are finalized and your bad deeds are finalized, now it's time for the people to get their rights back from each other. I hope I understood the question. I hope I've also answered it adequately. Barakallah feek. Wa alaikum salam, humble pixel. MashaAllah. How to give sadaqah. I saw some people, they grab some money in one hand and make it circle around the head 3 times. And then give it to a poor person. Much love from Pakistan. I don't know what y'all doing in Pakistan, akhi, but that is crazy. So you're going to tell me in Pakistan when they want to give sadaqah, this is money, they go like this. Faddal ya Sheikh. And what, this is like cleaning the money? Or is this like a washing machine to cleanse and run a dry session on the... Or this is what? This is like tawaf around your empty head. Look, the money is doing tawaf, mashallah, tabarakallah. Before, ايش هذا? أخي, how to give sadaqah is by hiding your sadaqah, man. Hiding your sadaqah. You put the money, this is the money, you put it in your hand like this, and you go to the miskeen and you shake hands with him, says, Assalamu alaikum, kayf halak habibi. And then when you let go, they find money in their hand. ورجل أخفى صدقته حتى لا تعلم يمينه لا تعلم شماله ما تنفق يمينه أو كما جاء في الحديث. From the 7 who will be under the shade of Allah is a person who gave sadaqah and so he hid it so that his left hand does not know what his right hand is spending. Tamam? Yo, that's crazy. Is it obligatory to give da'wah to people around you? What is the reward? Yes. Giving da'wah is a form of al-amr bil ma'ruf wa nahy anil munkar, and you are expected to enjoin what is good and forbid what is evil according to your ability. What is your reward? First of all, you're fulfilling an obligation upon you. Second of all, you'll get all the good deeds of the people that listen to you. Ustad, in the Islamic month of Dhul Hijjah, going on right now in 1444, the Ayyam al-Tashriq, which are 11, 12, 13 of Dhul Hijjah, which are not to be fasted. What about fasting the white days? Those are the white days. Okay. I see. So if no, Habibi, who said that you cannot fast Ayyam al-Tashriq? You cannot fast on the day of Hajj, the day of Eid, which is Yawm al-Nahr. As for the days of Tashriq, you can fast. Now, all right, I like the order. Mas'ud Balogun. When calling the adhan, is it correct to turn both left and right while saying Hayya ala salah, left or the right, and Hayya ala al-falah? Also, does the muazzin has to be the one to make the iqamah? No, it doesn't have to be the muazzin who calls the iqamah. And yes, from what I know, you turn to the right and you turn to the left when you say Hayya ala salah, Hayya ala al-falah. Some of the scholars say you say Hayya ala salah, Hayya ala salah, Hayya ala al-falah, Hayya al-falah, or right, left, right, left. It's a fiqhi matter. You should refer back to the books of fiqh. Bayan in the house. Salaam alaikum wa alaikum salam. What's the ruling on food received from innovated and sinful celebrations? Also, is there any videos or books you know of that talk about worshipping Allah upon love, hope, and fear? First of all, there's a difference of opinion among the scholars about the food received from innovated and sinful celebrations. Some of them say you can accept them based on an athar attributed to Ali radiallahu anhu, and some of them say that you should not. To be on the safe side, you should avoid it, inshallah ta'ala. As for videos or books on the subject matter of worshipping Allah upon love, hope, and fear, I think I have a lecture on that. Let's see if we can dig it up and find a name for it, inshallah. Now, salam akhi wa alaikum salam, young crow. I get too many doubts about Islam, how to deal with them, and how can I increase my iman? How to deal with doubts? By acquiring knowledge, habibi. Knowledge, al-ilm, yuzilu al-shubuhat wa-shubah. Knowledge will eliminate doubts and doubtful matters. So you have to reach the state of yaqeen, and that requires some dedication to learn the deen of Islam. How to increase your iman? By acquiring knowledge as well. Now, I heard one of the sheikhs say that when you're in a state of major impurity such as wet dreme, when you go to take shower, you rinse the nose and mouth, you are in a state of wudu. Correct. If you were to make proper ghusl, then the ghusl is inclusive of the wudu. The ghusl is inclusive of the wudu. Wait, I just saw two of... See, this is the problem when there's one of two and then the two of two is like 10 hours later. Now I lost everything. Allahu Akbar. Right there. Is that correct? And does that also apply to sexual intercourse? Yes, it is correct. And of course it applies to sexual intercourse. Pedro Orovio, who's been missing in action for some time, he only comes at the end of the class, is back early. Ustaz, in Usul al-Fiqh, if the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam commanded something, does it become automatically wajib? Well, fundamentally speaking, yes. Fundamentally speaking, yes. The asl is every command is an obligation and every prohibition is haram until there's an evidence that claims or that diverts it otherwise. Salam Ustad wa alaikum salam. If someone has a hard time believing in the hadith of magic done on the Prophet ﷺ and doesn't believe it after it affected him, is it kufr? If the hadith is established to be sahih and that person understands this hadith to be sahih and then he rejects it, yes, it's kufr. Some people at my local masjid sit in the tashahhud position when the Arabic khutbah of Jum'ah is being delivered. Is this a bid'ah? Of course it's a bid'ah. Of course it's a bid'ah. Is it bid'ah to say Sadaqallahu al-Azim after reciting a verse of the Quran? Absolutely. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam never said Sadaqallahu al-Azim after reciting the Quran. The innovators, they misquote or misconstrue the ayah in the Quran where it says Qul Sadaqallah, say Allah has spoken the truth, and then they use this now, they get this general ayah and they want to apply it in a specific condition to this. And if you remember in the hadith, hadith that we covered in Arba'in Nawawiyya, Man amila amalan laysa alayhi amruna fahuwa rad, we mentioned that there are six aspects that you have to be in compliance with for you to be in line with the sunnah, and one of them is the time or the occasion. The occasion for you to apply it in that specific situation is not in line with the way. That's not how the Prophet ﷺ applied the ayah which says قُلْ صَدَقَ اللَّهِ. Now, Assalamu alaikum wa alaikum salam. What do you say to people who say it's okay to sin and enter Jahannam first as long as you're a Muslim? You will enter Jannah in the end anyway. Say, mashallah, what a brave cookie you are. I can only say, what insane person are you? What would I say? I would say you crazy. You really wanna go to the fire. Like, do you really think the fire is some joke? All right, why don't we start from now? Huh? Why don't you start from now? Let me turn on the oven. I'm not going to tell you to burn yourself because it's haram to burn yourself. I'm just going to turn on the stove or the oven. I'm going to put you in there. We can start the baking process right now. All right? He's going to tell you, say, what, you crazy? If you're not willing to do it now, why would you be willing to do it on Yawm al-Qiyamah? Majnoon ant. Walaikum salam. Did you ever study under Sheikh Jamal Zarabozo? No, I have not. I don't have anything to say about him. I don't remember. I know that he's authored a number of books, but I don't want to say something I might regret. Muhammad Hablos, honestly, I cannot comment. Generally speaking, you want the person that you listen to be very straightforward about their aqidah and manhaj. That's the number one criteria. We want everyone who's speaking about Islam to be very clear about what aqidah they hold and what manhaj they hold. When there's ambiguity and question marks about someone's aqidah and manhaj, you need to stay away from them until you can confirm that they are okay to listen to. Every time I've seen this brother speak, I know he speaks with a lot of passion, but he's also screaming his, if people consider I scream, then I am I am the most soft spoken in the world when compared to him. That is not how, I don't think this is appropriate to be done all the time. But every single clip of him I've seen, he's like literally on the verge of exploding. That is not the way of the Prophet ﷺ. Second of all, I don't know. This is just a mawa'id. It's all admonishment and reminders. At some point, you need to know, what does this person believe? And we've made that mistake in the past. We said, oh brother, mashallah, the brother's good. He's giving da'wah. Like this new guy on the scene, it's called this Akhi Ayman, or I don't know what it's called. There's these new guys, you hear one reminder or one admonishment, so mashallah, tabarakallah, and then the same brother comes the following day, say, listen, forget about aqidah and forget about tawheed and forget about salah and forget about anything. The most important thing is that the husband and wife are on good terms with each other. Say hey, ya sheikh, hello, ya baba, ishfi, hello, hey. When the people don't have ta'sil, they don't have the foundations established, it is only a matter of time before they blurp out some nonsense. So I don't want to say, okay, go ahead, Muhammad Hablos, mashallah, because he's Lebanese, I'm Lebanese, we have a lot, the jokes which we say might even be in common. We're always joking about kusa and wara anab and what have you. But at the end of the day, I can't take that responsibility and tell you to go ahead, and then tomorrow he comes and says, who says anything about aqidah? Aqidah is not important, manhaj is not important, turns out to be a sururi or an akhwani or a batikha. La. There's plenty of khair in Sheikh Abdul Rahman Hassan and Muhammad Tim Humble. There's plenty of khair in those people. Allah yarda alayk, stick to them, because each one of them has a different style. One is very much knowledge oriented, the other one is absolutely subtle and kind and soft in his speech. Khalas, what else do you want? You have brother Faris al-Hammadi, you have plenty of brothers on the scene who will do the job. So don't associate with questionable people. Khalid Walid in the house, is it permissible to want to make a lot of money, seek high positions in dunya and become rich in Islam? No, it is not. That's something I'm trying to do. That is something that I'm trying to do, Mr. Khalid Walid. I'm trying to seek a high position in the dunya so that I call the shots, so that I'm the boss. I'm the one who gets to say, do this, don't do that, jump, sit, go up and down, salah time, everything stops. This woman, yalla, amshi. If I were in a higher position, for example, I wouldn't be in the predicaments at work where people, force me to do something that Islam doesn't allow. So the higher the position, the more control you have of things. I want to make a lot of money so that at no point do I have to reach out with my hand and beg you people for money. You see what I'm saying? I want to have a lot of money so that if I'm ever invited to give a talk, I could say, listen, keep your money, barakallah fikum. I'll come on my own expense and I'll get my own accommodation and I'll do my own thing and I'll go back on my own. I don't want anything from you. I want to have a lot of money so that at some point I can retire and just give da'wah. Be able to travel all over the world and give da'wah everywhere on my own, with my own money. So I want to be rich so that if a Muslim needs help, I'm the one who's giving him, I'm helping him, not the one who needs help. As long as the dunya is in your hand, not in your heart. Azam Sheikh, an imam in the US, told a brother that obedience of wife to husband is only in that which Allah commanded, such as pray and ask him before letting guests over in intimacy. Yeah. Not in whatever he wants that halal, such as cooking, cleaning, etc. Is this a culture, not Islam? They are equals in marriage. This imam should be smacked on his hand like this and told, Sheikh, please stop speaking about Islam and get a new job. Go work at a grocery store. Go work at a falafel shop. Go open a shawarma shop. Don't speak about Islam ever again. All right? Cut this crap. Yani we already have a feminist wave, a feminist warfare against the entire ummah. You're really trying to make the wife even lazier than she already is? Yani what's her job? If he tells her to pray, says, okay, I'm going to pray because you told me to pray. If he says, can you please cook for me? Said, oh, sorry, cooking, you got to hire a maid. Cleaning, you got to hire a maid. Then what is the use of the wife? And it's crazy that you hear this when they are kafir women. Kafir women who, when put on the spot, she said, you know what I do? He said, what do you offer? She said, you know what I do for my husband? Every single day I wake up, besides cooking and cleaning. This is a kafir woman, huh? Who's not a feminist. Said every single day, besides cooking, cleaning, I wake up my husband with breakfast, and I feed him, and I take care of him, and I massage his feet, and before he goes to bed, I rub his back and continue to massage him until he falls asleep. Every single day, in the morning, in the evening, she's pampering her husband from A to Z. His job is to go out and make the money. This is a kafir woman. Now you have a Muslimah who wants to say, Allah, Sheikh, Aslan, I'm going to call my dad and tell him that, it's my bad. This is crazy, man. Is spending $200 on perfume extravagance? No. One of the things which is not considered to be extravagance when spending money on is perfume. Anonymous human, mashallah. What job can I get with a computer science degree? I want to work in Saudi Arabia. Is it in demand? Well, you can get plenty of jobs. I'm not supposed to be the one who tells you what kind of job you can get with computer science, but definitely you can get plenty of jobs. And yes, there's demand. At least you could work in a university like our brother Jonathan Cazalet, Johnny C in the house. You could, I remember he worked as a professor in King Abdulaziz University in computer science, wasn't it? Yeah, he was a sheikh. He was a sheikh of computers. Sheikh it. Is seeking knowledge online the same as seeking knowledge in gatherings in terms of reward? And are you rewarded for taking notes and lectures? Is it something that one should strive to do? No, they're not. If you have the option, if you have no option to go to a gathering, then inshallah we hope that the reward is the same as online. If you have the ability to go to the gathering, how are they going to be the same? One requires that you drive and you make an effort and you go. Another one, you just sit there and click a button and then it goes online. Of course, going to the gathering where the angels are present is better than the one online. If you don't have an option, we hope Allah will give you the reward for both. Tamam? And yes, taking notes is important because this is part of dabtul ilm. It's part of you keeping track and withholding and containing and memorizing the knowledge. So yes, inshallah, you should be rewarded for that. What's going on today, guys? Just because I'm moderating, you're going to ask me a billion questions? Amatullah Su in the house. How to balance between sharing the blessings of Allah and not publicizing your life to the external world. Very tough one. Very difficult thing to do, to be honest with you. It's an excellent question. Well, everything should be done in moderation. Everything should be done in moderation. You shouldn't necessarily expose everything that Allah Azza wa Jal is blessing you with, but on occasions when you believe that it could be useful and beneficial for the people, then you go ahead and do so, inshallah. Now, what is the ruling on buying Minecraft as long as we ignore women, music, and magic? Wow! How are you going to ignore? Is there women, magic, and... Okay, according to my children, who are a little crazy, to be honest with you, and not reliable in this regard, but according to them, there's no women, music, and magic in Minecraft. You have to make music, otherwise there's no music by default. There's no women by default. That pixelated thing? That's yeah, if you're playing by... So obviously, look, man, bottom line is there's no harm unless you involve yourself in harm. It's a pixelated woman. Don't play with pixelated women. Even women pixelated. Don't play with them. And Minecraft, who play? You guys are... Anyways, let me just keep to myself because may Allah bless you, Sheikh. I'm not a Sheikh, Habibi. I'm your big brother. I'm your older brother. Should one be correcting the Sheikh during a lesson? Yes. If the Sheikh makes a mistake and the Sheikh is accepting of being corrected, yes. Personally, I don't mind being corrected during the class. If I make a mistake, I would rather that you correct me during the class. I I don't like that you ask questions during the class, you chat unnecessarily during the class, but if I make a mistake, I would rather you correct me right away. Why? Because you save everybody the hassle. Remember when I wanted to say Dhun Nurayn, I wanted to say Uthman ibn Affan, but I said Abu Bakr Siddiq all confidently. And in my mind, I'm saying Uthman bin Affan, but my mouth is saying Abu Bakr Siddiq. People called me out immediately, and we made the correction immediately. Imagine if I didn't, huh? Some funny guy will come along the way and say, look at this Jahil Abu Mussab Wajdi Akkari. He claims he's learned Islam. He doesn't even know that Dhun Nurayn is Abu Bakr is Uthman bin Affan. See, I made the mistake again. You understand? So me correcting it instantly saved us all a headache. So yes, go ahead. If I make a mistake, I misquote an ayah like Iman's homeschool. I said it's in Surah Al-Isra, she said it's Surah Al-Nisa. Please, put me on the spot respectfully and correct me. I have no problem, inshallah. Hayakumullah. What is the wisdom behind the preservation of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam's lineage? That is part of my homework. What do you mean what do you mean by the preservation of his lineage? His lineage where he came from, or his lineage moving forward? Reward for wearing clean and good clothes, smelling good. You're emulating the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and you'll be rewarded for following that sunnah. The Gulf is a good location for hijrah, but for one that really enjoys nature like mountains, forests, trees, I feel, etc., feel like they would be unhappy in a desert and concrete environment. Would you say? Yeah, akhi, would you say with that it's still worth for the deen? Of recommend, yes, it's still worth for your deen. It's still worth it for your deen. You really want to enjoy Habibi greenery and rivers, go to Jannah ya tu'barni. What is balance in Islam? Come on, Khalid. Assalamu alaikum. Do you mind if I post your short videos on other platforms like TikTok? Barakallah feek. Go ahead, Barakallah feek, and send us the links. Assalamu alaikum. I just wanted to know if the ruling on drawing images or image makers also applies to those who view such images, whether intentional or not. No, it does not apply to those who view the images. Can I be a nurse in Saudi? Will I have to look after male patients? Yes, you can be a nurse in Saudi, and yes, you will have to look after male patients. But generally, the people here are still accommodating of those matters, and you could, depending on your boss, say, look, I just would like to deal with female patients, and usually you will be accommodated. I cannot promise because I don't know where you're going to work, but those matters are respected here, and those religious people are still appreciated and respected. So when you put certain guidelines and limitations, they are taken into consideration, inshallah. Oh, wow. So I've really, after a half an hour of answering, this is what I said half an hour ago, and it's still there. So what? How am I going to answer all these questions? Ya Jama'at al-Khair, la, kida, I cannot moderate, guys. Why? Because we will be here till tomorrow, ya Baba. Huh? I know, I feel bad. طيب, let me see. Let me just be... what is the correct discipline? Child is lazy. What is the correct way to discipline a child who is lazy to learn and memorize the Quran and is always complaining that it's boring? Knock him out. Knock him out cold. Nah. You just have to explain to him the virtues and be patient with him and come up with the reward system and find him a sheikh who's going to put him on the spot. Forget about that, man. I don't care about anyone harassing us. All right, guys. I think I've done enough. Why are these yellow? All right. Anyways, that's way too many questions.
Yeah, you won't finish.
Yeah, we will not finish. All right, guys. So basically, let's leave some of them. Yeah, exactly. Get signed up to OneWayToParadise. Let's Mustafa. Let's continue tomorrow, inshallah, with our 40 Nawawi class. I think we've had enough of this. What? I don't want. I don't want to remove it. Jazakumullah khairan, barakallah feekum. And we'll catch you tomorrow, inshallah. Chat GPT question, please. Akhi, leave this Chat GPT alone. We've tried it, it's retarded. Chat GPT is retarded. I don't care what the question is. Chat GPT is retarded. It's going to solve 50% of your problems and it's going to create another 150% of problems. It cannot possibly give you all the solutions. We've tried it and you have to do so much work filtering what ChatGPT gives you that you might as well do the work from scratch. That's just my opinion. Plus, it is a cheating tool used by lazy students. So now, even Islamic knowledge, it's not reliable. We've tried it for Islamic knowledge. Wallahi, it's not reliable. It's gonna mix information from Shia and from Sufis and from Quburis and from Takfiris and Kharijis and every Abdullah or Rabi' or Abu Batata under the sun. How are you gonna differentiate now? This is exactly like my lecture. I'll swim but won't get wet. Khali Wali had a cheat GPT, cheapy PPT. LMNOP, PURP. Tomorrow, inshallah, we'll see you for the Aqidah class. Nope, no more Aqidah. For the Arba'in Nawawiyya. Jazakum Allah khairan. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. And broadcast will stop streaming.